In the dim green world of the flooded Amazon, an anaconda moves like a living current, its muscular body gliding through water plants and murk. It is a creature perfectly adapted to ambush. With a head no wider than a man's hand, yet attached to a body as thick as an oil drum, it lies in wait. Few people ever experience its power up close, and almost none survive to describe it. Yet imagining the experience of being swallowed by one begins with understanding how this predator lives and feeds. Anacondas are constrictors, not venomous snakes. Their size, often more than 20 feet long and weighing hundreds of pounds, means they rely on sheer strength to subdue prey. They ambush capybaras, caimans, deer, even small jaguars, striking with explosive speed. The jaws are lined with backward-curving teeth, not designed to chew, but to seize. When they clamp down, retreat is impossible. For a human caught in that grip, the first sensation would not be crushing darkness, but a violent tug, like a trap snapping shut on a limb, followed by a whip-fast coil of living muscle. Constricting happens in seconds. The coils tighten around the chest, pressing air out with each exhale. This is not bones cracking instantly, as myths suggest, but a progressive squeeze. Blood pressure drops, consciousness dims, and panic surges as the ability to inhale vanishes. The soundscape shifts from splashing water and muffled shouts to the hammering of your own heartbeat. Skin registers every texture, scales cool and dry at first, then slick with mud and your own sweat. The snake's weight pins you, your arms forced against your ribs. In that crushing embrace, time feels strange. Seconds stretch as if minutes. Terror becomes a physical taste, metallic and sour. If the anaconda decides to swallow, it will align your head with its mouth. Its jaws, thanks to hyper-flexible ligaments, can open far wider than your skull. The snake cannot chew. It walks its mouth over prey by alternately moving the upper and lower jaws. For the victim, this phase would feel like being drawn headfirst into a slick tunnel. Teeth hook into skin, pulling incrementally. The snake's saliva, thick and cool, coats everything. Darkness deepens as your head enters its throat. There is no clean transition. It is a slow, inexorable engulfment. Inside, temperature rises. A snake's body is roughly ambient at first, but once inside, you are pressed against layers of muscle, the inner lining damp and ridged. Each swallow pushes you further like a conveyor belt. Breathing, already impossible from constriction, becomes entirely blocked as the throat closes around your face. Sound diminishes to muffled squelches and the steady thrum of the snake's heartbeat. Vision is gone. Smell is dominated by musk and bile. Touch is reduced to pressure from all directions, as if buried alive in warm clay that moves. In the esophagus, the snake's muscles ripple in coordinated waves called peristalsis. These waves knead prey downward toward the stomach. You are compressed, shoulders folded inward, spine bent. The experience would be profoundly disorienting. No air, no light, only a slow sliding movement. Even if consciousness flickers, the sense of being transported deeper remains like a nightmare. Because anacondas typically kill by asphyxiation before swallowing, awareness at this stage might already be fading, yet the body still registers the movement and heat. The stomach itself is not a cavern, but a tight muscular sac. Upon arrival, the environment changes from movement to stillness, yet pressure increases. Digestive secretions begin seeping in, enzymes and acids that break down tissue over days. For a large prey item, the snake's metabolism slows, and digestion can take weeks. The temperature inside rises slightly with the snake's increased metabolic activity, creating a humid, suffocating warmth. If by some miracle consciousness persisted, the sensations would be extreme: a stinging on the skin where acid touches, a growing numbness, and absolute immobility. It would feel like being trapped underwater with weights on every limb, except the water is thick and burns. From the outside, the anaconda lies still in the water or under vegetation, its enormous midsection bulging around its meal. Its heart rate slows, and it becomes vulnerable to predators itself. Inside, the prey is sealed away, an entire ecosystem of chemical breakdown. Proteins denature, cell walls dissolve, gases build up, and the snake's body adapts by stretching, its skin scales glinting as the underlying tissue expands. The internal environment grows more acidic as digestion proceeds. Nerves would long since have stopped firing. Death would come from asphyxiation far before digestion, but imagining it offers a window into the alien efficiency of this predator. Biologically, anacondas evolved this method to handle prey much larger than their own heads. Their trachea extends like a snorkel while swallowing, allowing them to breathe while engulfing. Their ribs unhinge outward to accommodate vast volumes. Muscles along the spine coordinate to propel food downward. This is a slow-motion event compared to the strike, but no less lethal. For prey, there is no struggle once inside, only a one-way journey into darkness. The fear such a scenario evokes in humans is primal. Our species rarely faces predators capable of swallowing us whole, yet myths and stories persist, from biblical sea monsters to jungle legends. The reality is both more mundane and more terrifying. Not a quick gulp, but a meticulous muscular process honed by millions of years. To picture it is to confront the limits of human control over nature. We are used to dominating environments, but here the environment is a living tube, indifferent to our cries. Documenting such an experience also reveals how the snake perceives it. Anacondas are not malicious. They do not relish pain or plan cruelty. They respond to movement, heat, and opportunity. Once prey is subdued, the rest is mechanical. The sensory world of the snake is dominated by chemical cues and vibrations. It cannot see the panic on a victim's face or hear the screams as we do. It knows only that a warm body has entered its grasp, and instinct carries out the rest. From a scientific standpoint, the human imagination of being swallowed alive often exaggerates what happens. Most constrictors kill first, ensuring safety. A conscious descent into a snake's body would be extraordinarily rare. Yet exploring it in detail helps us appreciate the complexity of their anatomy, the rows of recurved teeth, the glottis that shifts aside to breathe, the muscular coordination required to consume something larger than itself. It is a feat of biology that turns the predator into a moving digestion chamber. For the human observer, standing on the bank and watching an anaconda consume a capybara can already be unsettling. The slow ratcheting of the jaws, the bulging outline of legs and head under the snake's skin, the patient swallowing motions, all seem surreal. To transpose oneself into the place of the prey is to magnify that unease. It becomes not just a spectacle, but an immersion into helplessness, a confrontation with the most complete form of capture. This is why the image endures in documentaries and adventure tales. It is not only about danger, but about scale and perspective. The Amazon is vast, its rivers like arteries feeding a green heart. Within it lives a creature that can turn the tables on us, making the human body just another entry in the food chain. Imagining the process in sensory detail, strike, constriction, engulfment, internal passage, bridges the gap between observer and subject. It becomes a meditation on vulnerability and on the ancient struggle between predator and prey. In the end, the experience of being swallowed by an anaconda, as reconstructed from biology and imagination, is not a quick cinematic gulp, but a drawn-out sequence of suffocation, darkness, pressure, and heat. It is a living tunnel closing around you, a relentless peristaltic tide pulling you inward. It is the ultimate loss of agency, the transformation from autonomous being to mere nourishment. The snake, unaware of your fear, continues its ancient cycle, its coils loosening once the body is inside, its head rising above water to breathe. The rainforest closes in, The ripples fade, and silence returns, broken only by the soft hiss of scales against water. What remains is not a heroic struggle, but an almost geological patience, a reminder that in certain corners of the world, nature still holds powers that defy our sense of supremacy.